Okay, let's get right into it. Gartner's latest roadmap for 2026. It's not just another trend report. They're calling it a fundamental turning point for AI, a great reset. And this is what's going to separate the companies that thrive from those that get left behind. It all kicks off with a really surprising conflict.
So on the one hand, you've got adoption just going through the roof. Today, nearly 90% of organizations say they're using AI regularly. I mean, it's everywhere. Co-pilots, customer service bots, you name it. The whole experimental phase, it feels like it's over. But that's not the full picture.
Because on the other hand, you have this, a truly staggering number, up to 60% of AI projects just get abandoned before they ever really scale. So what is going on here? If everybody's using AI, why is almost nobody succeeding with it in a big transformational way?
And right here, this is the absolute core of what Gartner is telling us. The problem isn't the AI model you're using. Chasing after the next big LLM, that's a total distraction. The real bottleneck, the reason so many projects are failing, is that our data infrastructure was built for humans, for us to look at dashboards. It was never, ever built for machines to reason and act on their own.
And that brings us to this huge paradigm shift. We have got to stop thinking about AI as just another tool that humans use. We need to start seeing it for what it's really becoming, the actual infrastructure of the business itself.
The thing driving this huge shift is a concept you have to get familiar with: agentic AI. Now, this isn't about AI suggesting a reply to an email. No, this is about autonomous AI systems, or agents, that can understand a complex goal, create a plan, and then execute tasks across a bunch of different applications, all without a human micromanaging every single step.
So let's break that down. Today, for most of us, AI is a tool we use to analyze data. But in this 2026 vision, AI is the operational layer. It's the system that's autonomously running the supply chain, managing the IT network, even executing financial trades. And for that to happen, you need a completely different foundation.
Okay, so if that's the future, how in the world do you build for it? Well, Gartner lays out a whole new blueprint, and it starts from the ground up, with the physical and the logical architecture you need for a world that's run by agents.
It all starts with just raw power. We're talking about AI supercomputing becoming a standard thing, not just something for research labs. It means really embracing hybrid computing and the edge so that decisions can happen instantly, right where the data is actually being created. And the whole thing has to be built on these flexible, composable architectures so you're not locked into one single vendor.
Now, this is really interesting. For a while, these two ideas, data mesh and data fabric, were kind of seen as competitors. Data mesh gives you the organizational structure, letting teams own their own data, and data fabric gives you the technical plumbing to connect everything. But for 2026, it's not an either-or choice. You absolutely need both to scale.
And what comes out of this new system? Something called a data product. And look, this is a huge mental shift. Data is no longer this messy byproduct of an app. It is a certified, packaged, reliable asset that an AI agent can trust and use, just like you or I would trust a verified financial report.
So once you've got that solid foundation, the next layer is all about giving the data meaning. It's about translating the messy, unspoken rules of the human world into a language that machines can actually understand and reason with.
Gartner uses a perfect analogy here: the GPS. You see, passive metadata, that's like an old paper map. Sure, it tells you what a street is called, but that's about it. Active metadata, on the other hand, is like a live GPS. It's constantly analyzing signals to tell you about traffic, suggest a better route, and predict when you'll get there. This is the nervous system for a business run by agents.
And this whole shift leads to a huge piece of advice from Gartner. The focus isn't on manually crafting the perfect prompt anymore. No, instead it's about building automated context pipelines that feed the AI all the background info, all the documents, all the data it needs to figure out the right answer on its own.
And that context, it comes in 3 layers, right? The AI first needs to understand your company's structure, the basic definitions, the hierarchies. Then it needs operational context, the unwritten rules of how your business actually runs. And finally, it needs behavioral context, all the lessons from decisions made in the past. So what's the magic ingredient that ties all this context together? It's the knowledge graph. And the impact, just look at these numbers. It's staggering. Adding a knowledge graph to connect the dots and provide that semantic context improves an LLM's accuracy by over 54%. That is the difference between a helpful assistant and an unreliable liability.
Okay, so let's recap.
You've built the foundation. You've built the intelligence layer. So what do you get? What does all this hard work actually unlock? Well, it unlocks a totally new kind of workforce, a world where autonomous AI agents collaborate to get incredibly complex things done.
And this isn't some far-off future. Look how fast this is evolving. We're already moving past simple assistance. By 2026, we're going to see agents that can handle complex end-to-end tasks. By 2027, they'll be working together in teams. And by 2028, we're looking at entire ecosystems of agents running whole business functions.
And the economic scale of this? It's almost hard to wrap your head around. Gartner is predicting that by 2028, AI agents are going to be in the middle of over $15 trillion of B2B spending. We're talking procurement, supply chain orders, financial transactions, all happening machine to machine, driven by these agents.
Now, obviously, this raises a gigantic question. A world run by autonomous agents. It sounds incredibly powerful, but it also sounds, well, kind of dangerous, right? So how do you govern all of this? This brings us to what Gartner calls the vanguard, the absolutely critical role of security, trust, and governance.
One of the biggest risks that's starting to emerge is this idea of model collapse. And it's a really scary feedback loop, where AIs trained on data generated by other AIs slowly start to forget what human reality even looks like. To fight this, you need a zero-trust approach to your data, where you can actually verify where all your training data came from. And the stakes here, they could not be higher. This is a chilling prediction. By the end of 2026 alone, legal claims related to death by AI are expected to exceed 2,000. This isn't science fiction anymore. This is a real board-level risk that makes governance a non-negotiable part of this new architecture.
So, to wrap all of this up, what should you actually do about it? Well, Gartner concludes by laying out 3 really clear, actionable journeys that every single organization needs to start on, like right now, to get ready for this future.
First, stop launching random AI projects and start focusing on measurable business outcomes. Second, you have to commit to that unglamorous hard work of building the AI-ready data foundation we've been talking about. And third, you've got to invest in your people. Drive the behavioral change and the AI literacy your workforce is going to need to collaborate with these autonomous agents.
You know, this whole roadmap is a massive wake-up call. It makes it crystal clear that your future success isn't about having the smartest model, it's about having the smartest architecture. So the question it leaves all of us with is a simple but pretty profound one. Is your architecture ready for the age of agency?